Hey, it's the right Rican, and you know what I'm going to talk about. I mean, everybody's talking about it. Everybody, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a take. Um, but I'm just going to start with what I was going to. What I didn't think for one. I didn't think there was going to come to a verdict today. I thought, uh, at earliest, I thought it was going to be tomorrow. Um, at worst, maybe Thursday or Friday. Um, what I mean, between what Maxine Waters said, between Joe Biden just before, just when uh, the jurors were in deliberation, he said he hoped, he prayed that they would have the right verdict, which is like, how do you were you there? Uh, I doubt he watched every bit of evidence of the trial. I didn't. I'm not going to say I did because I didn't. Excuse me. Been running around all day. One of the reasons why I'm here so late. I usually do these videos earlier, but I couldn't today. Well, glad I didn't because, like I said, we're going to talk about this. But I'm glad I waited because then I got to listen to um, between hysterical laughter Harris. Oh no, no, let me Kamala Harris. Let me say, Madam Vice President, because I'm sexist or racist if I don't say that. Um, and then after she spoke, Biden spoke, and between the both of them, I just was like cursing at my phone, hearing what they were saying. If Let me just say this: if this law passes um, that they're talking about, that George Floyd Act, this is basically they want to federalize the police, and if that happens, it, I mean, forget it, because the whole beauty of our system of having state and local, let's say local, state, federal, is to stop the federal leviathan from running, basically from taking over our whole, um, basically from taking over. Period, for them having absolute power. Um, but that's what's going to happen if you federalize the police and if you federalize elections. You need to then you take away the power, take the power away from the states to fight against the federal government. And but when they were talking about how about systemic racism, and of course, look, everybody knew that this is the sad thing. Everybody knew if there was no if he was found not guilty, and let's say found guilty of just manslaughter, because which that's what people like, oh, you think he should have been found. I thought he should have been at least guilty of manslaughter. But after evidence came out, I didn't think he was guilty of murder. I think it's hard to convict a police officer of blatant murder because the fact that they're out there doing a job. And I'm not saying that, you have, I think you had a case of a guy, a cop who shot someone after they handcuffed them. And they were on the ground or something like that. And they were found guilty of murder because they were handcuffed and you shot them. That's murder. You know, when you see, everybody saw the 8 minute, was it 9 minute video. Everybody saw that video. I was talking with my sister today, and when she's like, "Oh, you don't think he's guilty of murder?" I'm like, "Chill. I think he's guilty of manslaughter, but murders." I told her, "Did you watch the whole video?" Yeah, of course I watched the whole video. I said, "Did you see the whole, uh, like I think it was like half an hour, 50 minutes, something like that video?" She goes, "No, I didn't see that video." I'm like, "No, you didn't. You didn't see him resisting in the cop car, being put in the cop car, talking about while he was in the cop car he couldn't breathe." And she was shocked to hear that. And that just made me sad because I'm just there like, that's the majority of the country. Majority of the country didn't bother to see the whole video. Um, And if you see the whole video, then you put in perspective and you go, okay, murder, no. You're talking about a guy that was resisting them. Uh, and even there was a bystander that walked by and told him, yo, relax, you give up, just give in, stop resisting, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Um, but we're still, you know, people don't watch that. They just watch the whole thing that happened after he finally got him onto the ground and got him to calm down. And obviously, to the point where he died. And it's a tragedy all around because I guarantee you this police officer did not want to kill him, you know. And the whole thing about it is just because it's black and white, we make it racism. Look, this is what's disgusting about the news. They want this because it gives them ratings, but it's destroying the country. It's just because it was a white cop and a black suspect doesn't make it racism. The guy had drugs in his system. The guy, he did break the law. He was a criminal. So I'm not, it's not to disparage him, but it's just to state a fact. That's just the sad facts of the situation. You're not talking about a guy that was in a suit, um, doing coke, and I'm using that as an example because that's the coke and stuff like that. That's the rich people's drug. This is the poor people drug, like caffeine. But it's just sad. So, like I was saying, let me just go back to what I'm going to be all over the place because I mean, look, this is an emotional topic. So, deal with me where I'm trying to get all my thoughts in my head out. I don't write a script or anything like that. I just blurt out what comes to mind. So like I said, I was hearing Biden speak and him and Kamala Harris talking about how we were built on that we have a system of um uh, inequality and we're built, it's an unequal justice system, and it's like, and this is not enough, this is a and it's like, look, it shouldn't take a year to find someone guilty of this, and it's like, look, if you do this, if you go down this route, what's going to happen is nobody is going to want to be police officers. And the only people going to be police officers are going to be probably corrupt people, because you're going to have people, let's say, you might, and it's going to be on both sides. You're probably going to have, um, you're going to have people that are going to let crimes pass because, or this is what you're going to see. Even you're going to see cops go, why I'm gonna risk my life and not just my physical life, but my actual, freedom to stop a criminal. Because if the wrong, if it gets showed on the wrong angle, uh, if he has the wrong thing, they're gonna charge me with murder. They're gonna charge me. The people they're gonna let the criminals get away. They're not gonna bother to try to capture them. And I I don't know about you guys. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't, I've said what my whole what I would like to see. To me, what I would like to see um around the country is localities and states start to decriminalize drugs. We need to start ending the drug war, and we need to legalize. Look, how many people do you know who smoke marijuana? Let's be realistic. How many people smoke weed? You know, if you haven't tried it or done it before, I guarantee you know someone who has. So it's as common as cigarettes and alcohol. We need to make it legal. Let's regulate it. Let's tax it. Just like Colorado started, it's going around the country. It needs to. the federal government, if Biden and Kamala Harris are serious about, criminal reform, end the drug war. That's what you need to do. End the drug war, legalize marijuana, and just regulate it like it's alcohol and tobacco. That's it. I, that right there would uh, end so much crime, because the fact that you wouldn't have gangs fighting over territory. There goes the black market of marijuana money going to cartels and gangs. Because what's going to happen is people are going to start growing illegal. I think when the New York state law says that people can have like 4 plants. That's what they were talking about. They can have like 4 plants for to grow marijuana or something like that. Someone told me. I haven't researched it, but you'll see that. You'll see people like um, where I wish it was legal in my state. If it was legal in my state, I'd go buy land right now and try to uh, grow that here, because I know it'll be a cash crop. You'll see people growing it. You'll see people selling it, and you have to do is live up to the regulations. It's and just doing that alone. Look, if you do that, end the drug war. That takes resources away from the failed drug wars, puts more money to training for police officers. Then, if you legalize marijuana, that means more taxes, and either you could use that. I think Colorado uses it for the education budget, which is awesome. That means these states would get more taxes for the education, or you could, if you want to make a more well trained police force, because that's the whole stupid thing about defund the police. You need better trained police. And let's say, for example, they're like, "Oh, well, you need social worker." Bullshit. Oh, social workers are going to do nothing. You want to maybe have a specialized. If you end the drug war, you take away. You don't have these huge narcotic departments. You could change some of these people. I mean, some of these cops study psychology. You could have them a special units for, let's say, domestic calls. You could have special, schizophrenic or mentally ill calls, where you have specialized trained officers for stuff like that. But you need the fund. They need the funding for it. They don't need less funding. They don't need um, military vehicles and nothing like that. You're not going to see me calling that. Oh, that's cool that they have a tank. The police department doesn't need a tank. Okay, but this is all money that could be allocated, changed, and this is the whole thing. If you So there you go. Resources better for to go better for better training for the cops, maybe more money for education, but let's say increased tax base, less people in prison. So if you don't have drug users in prison, you could create treatment centers. So like that, let's say the people who are addicted to the harder drugs, instead of being arrested for using, let's say, heroin, they could be sent to a treatment center where they'll actually get help for their addiction. Because you put them in jail, they get these drugs in jails anyway. So you're not saving them, you're not helping them. The people that you could still send to jail, you send the drug users, because heroin's still illegal and they're still selling heroin. You know, you have more specialized units. You don't need to waste them on people selling marijuana. So now, so like I said, you're saving money. So you have less people in prison. You're saving that money that you would spend on. I think they say one prisoner is like $50,000 a year or something like that, or $30,000 a year. It costs the state to keep them in prison. So you have people, you have weed users in jail taking up that money. There's tax savings right there. So this is from my libertarian perspective. This is what really needs to be done, not trying to federalize the police so like that you could control them from up top. That's not what's needed. But that's not what Biden and Harris are pushing. They're pushing this whole inequity system, and um, it's like I said, like I keep saying over and over, it's destroying the country. It's not bringing us together. It's not saying that the sins of the past still exist today, and of course the only way to remedy it is to do exactly what we say. Come on. It's just BS power play. That's all you guys want. Here's, you know, like I said, I'm laying out my stuff that I'm talking about, and what I'm saying, it has no way gives. Let's say, for example, like I said, I'm a libertarian. There's no way that that favors my party, other than the fact that maybe you get more freedom. That's what libertarians believe, in more freedom. That's why I consider myself a more libertarian than a Republican, a Democrat, conservative. Because at the end of the day, do you know, to a certain point. I'm not, you know, like I said, we can make weed legal and you're 21 and over. That at the same time, it's like, look, um, maybe like joining the military, 18. I don't know about that. Maybe because to me, if you join the military, then you have your military ID. Because if you fight for your country, you should be able to drink or smoke. So if you have a military ID, you're exempt from 21 and over. That's just how I look at it. Because if you could go out and die for a country, you should be able to have a drink or smoke. But don't have a plan and that gives you just absolute power, because that's what it is. It's just power play. Where they use race to gain power, and then if you look at it, look at my friends who are, you got friends. If you're listening to this and you're a Democrat, look at what goes on. Every now, forget about it. It used to be every 4 years, race, race, race. But they know that you were catching on to the game. So now, instead of doing it every 4 years, it's every news cycle. They keep inundating it. That was the whole thing with Trump. That's why they used that on Trump, because Trump wanted to secure the borders, and at one point Democrats did too. But now that became racist. And even looking now, what happened? Joe Biden had to. He won't admit that he was wrong, but had to start finishing what Trump started. He couldn't leave those gaps because what's going on. So, I just don't understand. Well, I shouldn't say don't understand. I mean, look, like I said, I was talking with my sister. I understand you, and I don't say this as as an insult or anything like that. But you have a lot of low information voters, and granted, you have it on both sides. But in particular, that's what happened this election cycle. You had a bunch of un, you have low information voters with easier access by just ballots being sent to them, that were able to just to vote. That people who wouldn't have even cared and never voted. But they got the people to hate Trump so much that and it's then trying to continue it. That's why they demonize Tucker Carlson, because they need because he's there all the time. They need a boogeyman to go after. That's why they do Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's her name. That's why they go after her, but she doesn't have no power. So it looks foolish that they keep going after her. But that's why they go after stuff like that, because they have to find that boogeyman to keep you wanting to keep trusting them in the media, to keep that hate going. It's that to anyone who's read 1984, it's the 2 minute of hate. That's what you're getting. They're telling you need to hate the conservatives, you need to hate the Republicans, because they're all white supremacists. They're all racist. And that's and then but meanwhile, you have someone like me, or you have someone like Candace Owens, and the minute we leave that Democrat plantation, they call us every racial slur in the book, because it's okay. Because you have those, Coon and Uncle Tom and all that stuff. Like I used to joke, call me Tio Tomas, because I'm not black. But hey, that's what they do. That's how they get the hate. That's how they get you. That's how the 2 minute hate. And like I said, it's acceptable when it's on the left. They call you those names, and I could say it freely. I can't say the N word I got to worry about my channel. I can't say, you know, SP, I don't know if I could spell it, but I can't say that, you know, um, I can't say none of that stuff, but I can say cracker and not worry about my channel getting striked or anything like that. So, look at the games you got to play. Look at the mental gymnastics you have to go through when you do channels like I'm doing. There's words that I got to be careful that I don't say. I try not to curse because in life I really don't curse that much. Just look, I grew up in the ghetto, so an F bomb here, an F bomb there, it's gonna come out. Um, there's certain people that I know I'll offend if I say it, so I don't. But if I'm around other people, it'll be like, it'll come out more because I know it's not offending them. It's it's kind of like with drinking. Like you have some Christians that drink and some that don't. Because for some people they just it's too much temptation for them. A drink, they could have been alcoholic. So I don't drink around them. So I don't curse around people like that. But that's a different topic. So where do we, this is look at what they're trying to do here. If they're telling you our solution is give us more power and we'll protect you, or give us more power and we'll make sure. No, look, listen, they're trying to destroy the system because they say the system's evil, but we're gonna fix the system to the way we want it. And then once we get it the way we want it, it's okay. And it's like I said, I think in a video I talked about, a friend of mine, a progressive friend of mine that was we were talking, and he was there like conservative values have no place right now. Maybe once we get everything we want, then we could, talk about being conservative. And it's like, then we could talk about conservative ideas. And it's like, yeah, because conservative ideas, once you look, if you don't know what the Overton window is, it's like basically, let me stupid illustration here. Sorry, I just don't like I said, I don't I don't script these. I just go, you know. Oh here, let's see. Here's a line. Here's the center. Here's the center. Let's see. I'm trying to see where's the no, this is my left here. Anyway, let's just go left, right. Okay. So here we go. For the people who don't know, here's the center. Okay, so I'm trying to do this good. Okay. If if this is the center today, right? But we keep changing the conversation, and let's say in 5 years now, this is the center. So here's the same it's the same line, but instead of being here, now we're here. Now anybody that's still here is right wing. Let's say in another few years, it's over here. Everybody that's over here is now far right. Okay. And that's how it goes. So just in, let's say this is 5 year increments. So just in 15 years, it'll change that someone who's just here in the center is now far right. And, you have people, let's say now someone that was over here 5 years, 15 years ago, now if you go here, they're right wing. That's the Overton window, right? That's what's going on. So you got someone like me. I was a Democrat, 25 years ago, 20 years ago. Um, but now, 20 years later, I'm I'm right wing. The only thing maybe I shouldn't say, probably the only thing maybe I changed my opinion on a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot is guns. Still pro-choice to a point. I'm just no 9 monther. I go three to 6 months, no more than 6 months. And drugs. I've always been that's why that's why it turned me off about both parties, because both parties are ridiculous when it comes to it. Now the Democrats are using it because they want to win. Uh, they're trying to win voters with it, but I go. This is something I've been for 20 years. What I'm saying here, my solution for if you want to reform the cops and the prison system and all that, and the drug war. That's it. Biden, Kamala Harris. You want to impress me, and the drug war. That's it. That's my that there's my solution. End the drug war, stop the militarization of the police, and go back to community policing. Go back to when police you know, knew everybody in the community. When if something went down, people would go to the cops themselves. That's what we need. You know. Phew. I've been talking for so long I thought I didn't record. I was like, oh my goodness. Um, but what do you guys think? I wish um I wish I had enough people that I could, live stream and chat with you guys, because that, ideally that's why I would love to take this channel. I would love to be able to take questions and um, have conversations like that. But for now, I'm a small channel. I'll have conversations with people. Even if you comment and you want to come on and we'll talk about a topic, let's do it. If you're not afraid to be on camera, let's go for it. But hopefully, if everything goes well, I have a big surprise for people who follow my channel. I'm gonna have my hopefully. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I might have a surprise tomorrow, and we'll see. Hopefully, it goes well, and hopefully, you guys enjoy it. And girls, so sorry. Uh, so, anyways, I'm the Right Rican. Hope you enjoyed my content. Um, Please follow me and or give like and leave comments. I respond. Anyone who's commented could tell you I respond fairly quickly. And you can also follow me on social media. You can hit me up there. Um, Same thing, Right Rican. Sorry, it's been a long day. Facebook, Twitter, Gab, and Parlor. Um, all of those social media sites. Um, and like I said, anyways, have a good one, guys.